Hills, Mrs. Sandersfeld-Miller here with some new books about to hit the shelves in the library. We'll start off with some non-fiction books. So we've got the Year in Sports 2023. This would be a great one for study hall, just to kind of look through and flip through while you're in study hall. Lots of great information about all kinds of different sports. The next one is Urgent Message from a Hot Planet. This one would be a great one for the students doing climate projects in science class right now. So lots of good information there. And then my story, A Girl on Schindler's List. This one is about a girl who survived the Holocaust. And you can see it's got a yellow sticker on there, so it's a good quick pick type of book. Next up, we have a book that's in all Spanish, Fenway y Hattie. So a book about a dog, all Spanish. And then we have some quick pick fiction ones. So we have The Best of Iggy. This one would be a good read-alike if you like Diary of a Wimpy Kid. There's lots of illustrations, not as much text as a regular chapter book. Then we have St. Louis Armstrong Beach. This is about a boy who lives in New Orleans. He's got this stray dog that's kind of his best friend, lives in the neighborhood, but then Hurricane Katrina comes along and him and his dog must try and survive. And then we have The Terrible Twos, Last Laugh. This is book 4. Another good read-alike for Diary of a Wimpy Kid, a good series if you're interested in that. Next, we have some books in a series. So we'll start off with Charm by Tracy Wolff. This one is book 5 in the series. It is a pretty good sized book, but it's a very popular series. Next up, we have Gleanings by Neal Shusterman. This is book 4 in the Scythe series, but this one is like short stories. So this one's not necessarily a chapter novel type of book. It's just short stories about the world of the Scythe book. Next up, we have Middle School by James Patterson. This one is book 15. Another good read-alike if you like Diary of a Wimpy Kid. There's not as much text and some illustrations in there. A little more text than Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but a very popular series. Next up, we have some in the Dragon Ball Z series. We've got 12, 14, 15, 16, and 17. 13 is impossible to find right now, so hopefully that will be coming in soon. It's just out of stock everywhere. Next up, we have Warcraft. This one is book 2, it looks like. So we have 1 and 3 in the library, but our book 2 disappeared, so there's a replacement of that. We've got Scary Stories 3, short stories that are scary, some good illustrations. And then Terry's Crew. This one is from Terry Crews. He's a famous actor. And this is book 1 in the series. So this is a graphic novel that he's going to start writing a series based on events from his own life and his own childhood growing up. And then last, we have a couple of novels here. We have 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. She is the author of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So a good creepy murder mystery type book. Next up is Whiteout. This would be a fun winter read. This is by 6 different authors, and they are hugely popular authors in our library. So we've got Danielle Clayton, Tiffany Jackson wrote a lot of good books, Monday's Not Coming. Nick Stone wrote Dear Martin. Angie Thomas is the author of The Hate You Give. Nicola Yoon is the author of Everything Everything. So it's a love story with diverse characters based in the wintertime by some great authors. The Midnight Club, there is a Netflix series on this. This is by Christopher Pike, who was one of my favorite authors when I was in junior high. But this is about a group of kids who live in a hospice home, which means they all have terminal illnesses and they're all dying. So they meet up at midnight every night and they decide that if any of them die, they're going to come back and try and contact them. But then one of them does die and creepiness ensues. Next up, we have a graphic novel called We'll Soon Be Home Again. This is about the Holocaust. This one is based on interviews with Holocaust survivors. So it's historical fiction, but based on true stories of Holocaust survivors. And then last up, we have a biography called A Hope More Powerful Than the Sea. It's about a girl who is from Syria and becomes a refugee. So imagine that you're 15 years old, living your normal life in Syria, and then a civil war breaks out and you have to flee to Egypt and try to survive. So those are all the new books. They'll be out on the new bookshelf, so come check them out or put them on hold.